Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com. Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's a Thursday edition. It's a Barely Bravo breakdown. I don't know, that sounds pretty good. I'm here on my work retreat with producer Ingrid. We have had 2 days at the Lansdowne Resort in Leesburg, Virginia. Nope, not an ad, not SpawnCon. It's just this is what's happening. This is where we are. It's inexpensive, and they have a really nice spa. And we're enjoying ourselves. I really am bringing Ingrid on a little trip to thank her for all her hard work. And this is all I could afford. I wanted to do Miraval, but I couldn't afford Miraval. So here we are at the Lansdowne Resort in Leesburg.
This is fabulous.
It's been really nice.
And they didn't let us eat at the restaurant because we were not dressed appropriately earlier today.
You guys,
I felt like such a rebel.
Didn't you feel like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman?
Yeah.
But I have money. I have
Big
money
mistake.
to spend here. Big mistake.
Huge.
Yeah, I had on a t-shirt and shorts, and Ingrid had on a tank top and shorts because we'd been to the spa. And we were like, can we eat over there? And they're like,
no.
You could get your food to go, ladies. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. You needed shorts with 6-inch inseams. Okay, that's boring. Let's keep it moving.
All right.
These people are busy.
Yeah. So we made a list of topics to discuss. The first one, of course, being Kyle and Mauricio's divorce. We have apprised ourselves of Face Reality 16's fantastic Instagram story that they did. It's saved under Kyle and Momo. If you look at their, you go to the Instagram and it says saved stories, you can find it there. It is a deep dive from like last year until now with this Kyle and Morgan Wade situation. Now, I've since watched Amy Phillips go through the entire thing. I have listened to Heather McDonald. I have listened to Brandy and Julie. I've listened to lots of people talk about this. I'm feeling like a semi-expert.
You're maybe like the teacher's assistant, like the TA in college, or maybe like a semi-professor, assistant professor.
Yeah. I definitely don't know it all, but I do know a lot. And it's interesting to hear Brandy and Julie's take on it, and they're going to be back on the podcast in a few weeks, and I can ask them about it. But Julie, being a out lesbian herself, is saying, I thought this was very insightful, and she said this on the Jeff Lewis Live after show on the app, and she said that maybe Kyle just all these years has been such a nurturer and a caretaker for other people that she met this friend and felt a real connection with her for somebody that was taking care of her. And Julie's like, with female relationships, it is like a best friend. It is different. And maybe it did become romantic. And she said, and maybe this will just make her realize that being with Mauricio is not what she wants. Maybe she'll be with a man later. But this could be just like a stepping stone into perhaps leaving him, but not necessarily always going to be with a woman. They are 20 years apart to me.
No, wait. How old is she?
Who?
Kyle.
50 something.
Right. And this woman is 28. I mean, that's more like 30 years apart.
They're very far apart in age. And that to me is sort of the headline of it, not necessarily that it's a woman or.
I agree. Yeah. I listen and take these things to heart. There's a lot of people on Instagram. Hey, this is nobody's business to out her as a lesbian.
Right.
And I think that's fair, but it's really not about the lesbian part for me. That's the headline. It's this 27-year marriage and this basic, it's a personal partnership, obviously, like marriage is, but it's also a business partnership that is fractured. And it didn't seem like it was going to fracture because they were always so lovey-dovey and maybe that's the message. But it's the fact that this 27-year marriage is maybe struggling and that the woman or man or whoever is so young.
I mean, if you think about the fact they've been married for 27 years and this
woman is 28. Mm-hmm.
that, you're like, wow, when I got married, you were just born. I mean, wow.
And
that's a lot to take
wow,
in. Yeah.
Bethany. Wow.
Yeah, totally.
I kind of feel that way too. And that's why it's so interesting to think that someone that young comparatively could be such a nurturer to Kyle. And I mean, who am I? I'm not a lesbian. I don't have that experience, but I think it could be a sense of like, this is a cool girl, and we clicked right away, and then maybe there was something more, but maybe it's like an excitement, it's an attention that she hasn't gotten in a long time.
Yeah.
It could, that happens with men, women, whoever.
Yeah.
And I can see where it would be, it's 27 years of the same dude, but like, I don't know, something about them seem different than some of the other couples on these Housewives shows to me. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just really good actors.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I don't know either. And again, it's all just speculation because we don't know, but it is like, it's sort of like Heather just said on Juicy Scoop. I was listening. It's like with like the Tristan and Kroy thing. It's like, listen, just, come on.
Like, you do your thing, but just keep it literally keep it undercover.
Yeah. Like why? And Mauricio, there's always been rumors, but there's never been any proof of anything ever. So, maybe something very egregious happened to sort of make her seek out another relationship or realize that this situation with him is not what she wanted. And they said, we've had the worst marriage year of our lives. And as you and I have been married a long time, you have those years. There are times.
Yeah.
Where it is like,
I thought you were saying you and I have been married a long time.
No.
And
well, that too.
Yeah.
You and I have been married to other people for a long time.
Yes.
And some years are way worse than others.
That's true.
And so,
but don't you have the hope that after that? Okay, so this summer will be 23 years for me. I was, like I say, a child bride.
Right. I wasn't a child bride, and it's 23 years for me as well.
But, and I get it. The spark is sometimes tricky. We've had a pretty good relationship. But if my husband's been sort of philandering for many years or with different people, or it's just been part of the deal, maybe that does get a little old. I don't really know. But my hope is that, my youngest daughter's going off to college this fall. It's like, I hope that's like a new part of our relationship that is exciting and like fun, and maybe rediscovery a little bit, and maybe some travel. And I thought maybe that's where they were, because Portia now is like 15 or 16, and like they're getting to a point.
People keep going, all our kids are leaving. I was like, she's got a 10th grader.
Yeah. I mean, she's still at home, and frankly, some of them still live with her. I really don't know, but it is a different part of your life, and that's, I think, supposed to be exciting. Maybe it was not exciting. Maybe it was scary. Maybe it's scary for them, because maybe it is really. I mean, he's built this business. She's helped. She's got her endeavors, and it can turn into a business deal, can turn into a business relationship. Sure. And it's scary if you run out of things that you have in common.
It's interesting that they've all on that Face Reality 16 Instagram story that they haven't had any pictures together in so long. And then they make this announcement, and then here they are posing together in the streets of Aspen, like, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
We are separated, but look at us having dinner next door to Kemosabe.
I wonder why they are together. Like, what's the point? Is this their last, like, hurrah?
I don't know. Like when Jen and Brad like walked on the beach, and then we already knew he was leaving her for Angelina. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, another podcast. I also listened to Casey and Danielle's Garbage World, which, is all behind a paywall now. But I listened to that, not to brag. Casey gave it to me as a gift. Not to brag. But I would have joined anyway. Anyway, I listened to the two of them talk about it, and they had the girl that's Face Reality 16 on. Yeah. And that was pretty interesting as well. That's a good listen. And they were talking about their Discord and how hilarious it is. The people are on Discord. They're like, there's 3,000 people in there, and it's just like crazy.
Our Discord, the Supercast Pink Shade Discord, I haven't checked recently, but we don't have 3,000 people in ours.
We certainly don't.
But if you want to join it, I'll see you in there, but I don't know how to do it. But we have a great lady who's our admin, and she's handling all of it, and she's wonderful. So you should come over to the Discord. Something's happening over there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about, so Kyle and Mauricio, God bless you. We don't know, whatever. But I feel more invested in their relationship than I do in Kim and Kroy. We're also struggling, but I want to know what the hell happened. Like, they were all up in each other's faces about how wonderful everything was too. But I guess maybe,
they seem to live for the social media post.
Yeah. The booze and the gambling sounded a little out of control. And the money.
Lots of kids and lots of gambling and lots of money issues there.
Yeah.
A lot of calling the police on each other. Just like
it's so
nonstop.
Yeah. It's such a weird thing to call the cops all the time, isn't it? Like, they're busy. They have other things to do.
Don't call the cops to come over because your friend picked up your kid to go to a play date and the spouse didn't know. I mean, like, what?
I know.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happening there, but I do wonder, everybody, of course, is like, they'd be stupid not to just quickly bring back Don't Be Tardy for the Party or whatever. Like a very special season of Don't Be Tardy for the Party.
Yeah.
With the divorce.
I think she's going to go back on Housewives. No? I thought I read it. I don't know.
She posted a picture.
Such a hot mess.
Well, she posted a picture with her and some of the Atlanta ladies, but it was as a promo for her being on this coming week.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. We didn't have one last week because of 4th of July, but not TLC. They don't take a break.
No.
Only for the Super Bowl.
The crossover there is huge, right?
Right. Like, I would prefer it. We were talking today, like, why doesn't TLC have a BravoCon, like a 90-day fiance con? We would all go. Yeah,
well, we would.
Yeah. I mean, you would go.
I would
begrudgingly.
I would go. No, I would go. I would be happy to be the bag carrier and the handler.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would think that the audience would be huge for that.
Huge. Yes, people would.
I don't know their viewership numbers on those shows, on the 90-day stuff.
They're like, they're the huge, 90 days, the Sunday is like the highest rated show on Sundays and all that. Yeah.
Even beats 60 Minutes?
I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
Hello, I'm a nerd.
Nerd.
Yeah. Well, so if anybody at TLC is listening.
They're not.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to put it together. I just like to attend.
Well, of course. Yeah, what else? What else on Kim and Kroy? Is that it for them?
Yeah, I don't know. And their kids are little.
They are like
12.
12?
Like
10 and 9.
Yeah.
Because it's twins that are 9 or something, right? Or like 12, 11, and 10 or something. I mean, they had a bunch of kids in like no time at all. I think
it's like the twins are 12 and then there's like 10 and like an 8 or something. Yeah. And then of course those older ones.
The older ones, I don't really know what's happening with them.
Brielle and Ariana. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
The only 2 non-Ks in the family.
Yeah.
We got Cash, KJ, Kaya, Kane.
Is Kaya a girl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we got Kaya and Cash are the twins, and then we got KJ, and then we got Kane. And
what's the KJ? Is that short?
Kroy Jr.
Kroy Jr., of course.
So maybe it's Kaya and KJ, and then Cash and Kane. I just know that when she was going to name her third kid after the twins, Cash with a K, Candy was really mad because she wanted to name her kid Cash with a K because she's Candy with a K, and she was really mad.
Oh.
So she settled on Ace and Blaze.
I don't mind Ace.
Yeah, Blaze is something. It is the name of a restaurant as well, which is weird.
Anyway.
All right, what else is on our list?
Also on our list, keeping in the Bravo sphere, Crappie Lake is coming on Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm. And you guys do know that Crappie is pronounced crappie. It's a type of fish, but it's funnier to say Crappie Lake.
Yeah, so it fits them.
I'm sure that'll be all in the first Lucy and Ethel type of episode. Like, is a crappie, darling.
I know. I think it'll be fun.
I do too.
Those 2 are fun, and Sonia's crazy.
Sonia's always a good time. She's out there showing her boobs to the people at Crappie Lake.
She belongs on television. She looks good. She's had great work done.
Yes.
I mean, and Luann, there's nothing to say. She looks
just perfection.
Just spectacular all the time.
Every time you see her in a string bikini, you're
God,
like, oh my God.
I'm like, it has to be, maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's.
Yeah, that and those extra set of teeth she's got on the top.
That's true. Anyway, oh my God. This is a real exciting episode, everybody.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great show.
No, it's going to be fun.
Now, I will say that Casey on her garbage sesh thing said that she reached out to Andy with the Face Reality 16 reel, sent it to Andy Cohen on text and said, you need to watch this reel. You need to get eyes on it. Here's the whole timeline. What do you think? And he wrote back, I think you're going to love Crappie Lake. It's a great show. So no comment from Andy.
No comment.
No comment.
But listen, Andy's got to love this.
Of course. Now
except they put down cameras in May, so we're not going to see any. I mean, that's the thing. Like, they know how to time these things.
But whoever I listened to said they knew for sure, and maybe it was Heather, said they knew for sure they were still doing pickups, which means come in and sit and do your talking head.
Yeah, but sometimes that's just reaction shots to things that have already been shot.
But if they're making them still come in like, hey, we got a month of come and sit and do talking heads about, because once they start to put together, they don't always have their reaction because they didn't quite realize something was going to be a story.
Right,
so
right.
Oh, okay, this is going to be a story with whatever. So I'm going to need Kyle to come back in and give her comments on what she thinks about something that happened to Vanderpump Dogs. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So if they are still in that window of recording, then they can have her come in and be like, let's talk about this news. And
and they can do the fade to black and they can be like,
yeah.
And just 1 month after.
Just like they did on Salt Lake. Remember the final episode of Salt Lake? The actual episode was 30 minutes. And then they faded to black after the gay choir festival situation. Mm-hmm. And then they went all the way to the trial stuff.
Yeah. Right.
And they did the same similar with Scandival.
Uh-huh.
So they could do it with this one too.
They could, but only if Kyle and Mauricio are going to talk.
Well,
and based on their statement, it doesn't seem like they're going to talk.
Well, they're talking. I mean, they're going to have to be asked about it because now it's a public statement. They're going to have to be asked about it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But like when all the stuff about Robin Dixon and that Juan and all of that came out, and then she did it just on her podcast, they were already almost to the reunion.
Yeah,
So it was way past. It was way past. So no picking cameras back up to interview her.
Right.
Now I also just saw,
and less juicy, to be honest. I mean, still juicy, but like nobody's surprised.
Come on,
Juan.
Come on, Juan. Just like Tristan Thompson, keep it in your pants, or just keep your pants hidden, or whatever you do. Then I also just saw, and I think it was. Anyway, some wonderful Instagram account that I can't remember with the word Bravo in it.
Yeah.
They announced that it said Melissa Gorga has received her contract for the next season. Suck it, Teresa.
Oh, she did. Oh, I thought she was on the chopping block.
No, that Melissa has signed her contract.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's according to this. Who knows? I got to get Anthony Lario on the line.
Yeah, no kidding.
I wrote him. I was like, okay, season's over. You said I could have Margaret.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
I just want to know where Margaret gets her like tunic caftan things that she wears once in a while.
I don't know. I was like, I could talk to Margaret about 100 things that aren't housewives.
Yeah. For sure.
Her style and her whatnot. Okay, next subject.
Are we going in order or should we go?
You do whatever. You've got the list.
Okay. Let's talk about Allison Mack and Nexium. Now, I'm sure that all of the bunkies are very well versed
in Nexium.
But if you're not, where did we do The Vow together? We recapped the HBO special, The Vow. I think we did did we do both seasons?
I think I did part of it with Aaron.
Yeah.
And part of it with you.
Yeah, that might be right. And because it was season 1 and then season 2. And the season 2 was the trial, like
with Salzman
and the trial. And
it's Salzman trying to convince you that she too is a victim.
Right.
She had nothing to do with any of this stuff.
And the weird decorations in her house. That's what's sticking in my brain.
That big statue of that man
clown?
Yeah, man clown. No, it was a lady.
Oh, lady clown.
Lady. Yeah, it was a lady like coming out of the wall.
Anyway, so if you are a member of Prime, you can look back at those episodes. Yeah. They're all there.
Just search for The Vow. And then also if you go in the Facebook group, it's pinned to the top of the regular Pink Shade Facebook group. It could be in the Pink Shade Bunkies one. I'm not sure. But it's a list and I update it every time I put a new episode out. It's updated with all the bonus episodes. They're in the 360s or something at this point.
Right.
Mhm.
So, so anyway, do a quick summary of Nexium really quickly.
Well, I mean, okay, Keith Raniere, volleyball loving cult leader.
Ponytail wearing, volleyball loving.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And then he thought that looked too culty, so he shaved that off. He tried to look more clean cut. But he, in addition to, having these self-help groups and things to help you like be a better business person or whatever, then he just fully recruited people into the cult. And then they had a subcult called DOS, which was just a cult of women that would be on his beck and call to have sex with him. And what Allison Mack did was she was master to slaves, and that's what they called themselves, master and slaves. And she was a master to some slaves, and then they would have to do whatever she said, and then also be on beck and call to Keith. And then, much like Scientology, of course, they have your collateral, which means you say something horrible about your mother or you reveal a family
whether
secret.
It's true or not,
whether it's
because
true or
people
not.
were having to make stuff up because they were just like normal,
normal
life people, and they were making stuff up like my uncle abused me or whatever, right. And like, oh, if you step out of line, we're going to release this information. Yeah. And of course you're not going to want that because your uncle didn't abuse you.
And then also nudity, they would kind of force you to send these nudity photos and nude photos, and then they would have that as collateral as well. So if you stepped out of line or whatever, they would say, we're going to release your, very unflattering nude photos or whatnot. Lots of sexual abuse, lots of just, flat out,
well, just abuse. They locked that one girl in the room for 2 years.
2 years.
I mean, you guys, it's upsetting.
It's a lot.
It is an upsetting story. So
Allison Mack was really like,
she was a recruiter. She was top two
with Nancy Salzman. So Nancy Salzman was number 2 in the overall corporation of it all.
The ESP,
the Executive Success Program. But Allison Mack was the head of DOS. Now, Nancy Salzman claims, of course, she never knew anything about DOS and all this stuff because at one point she had a sexual relationship with Keith. Ugh. He also had a sexual relationship with Lauren Salzman, her daughter, in addition to Allison Mack and all these other people. And Allison Mack was the top recruiter for the DOS. She was with him in Mexico when he got arrested. Mm-hmm. And, he was also very into his women being waif thin.
Really, really thin.
Extremely thin. So you've got eating disorders, you've got sex abuse, it's got it all. Anyway, she got out a year early. Now, did she get out a year early for good behavior? Because I know that we've learned from the Jen Shaw case, if you're in for 5 years, if they give you that number 5 years, you are not getting out a day early. She was sentenced to 3, and she was able to get out in 2.
Right. I'm not, I've got my little trusty computer here. I think, well, first of all, let's talk about why she only got 3 years.
Because she flipped. At the end, she did.
Yeah, and Nancy did not. Uh-huh. And so that's why she's still in jail. And Keith is in for 120 years.
Thank God.
And like, I don't know, many, many millions of dollars of a fine or whatever. Mm-hmm. So she gets out. I'm not sure why. They didn't make it clear in the stories I read, like New York Times, Washington Post, all that. But
good behavior.
My guess is good behavior. And, she's tried to, and she's racketeering and conspiracy, which is similar to Jen Shaw. Mm-hmm. And this was sexual abuse, which frankly, it's all terrible. All these bitches are terrible. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
So she didn't have sex trafficking in there, or does that go under racketeering is a RICO charge. That's like a mob thing.
It's a money.
It's a money laundering thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but it's related to her role in the cult, which is grooming, recruiting, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she got out early. She was supposed to get out in a year. Now, I'm not really sure, and it was federal, so I'm not really sure why she got out, but I thought, my understanding was the average is like 70% of the time you serve.
Right.
But you say Jen Shaw's not going to get out a day before 5 years. Or whatever her
I think I think she was sentenced to 7, and she cannot get out a day before 5 years.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that works because it's like, I think it's like most people in jail for federal crimes, it's like they serve, if they're being good and productive and whatnot, they serve about 70% of the time. And probably there's just a lot of people stacked up in jail that they want to.
Yeah.
Like Elizabeth Holmes is going to serve, she got like 12 years or something. She'll probably be in for at least 9.
Yeah. And if she gets out, her kids will be what?
Old.
Like 11 and 9?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's and I just want to know what Allison Mack is going to do next. She's got probably no education, right? She's like basically went from high school or whatever to acting and no college.
Child actor, yeah.
And then got involved in this mess. Has no bankable skill, probably.
Well, she can, I guess she can look at you lovingly and...
That's true. She can make motivational videos.
So Nikki Klein, it says that Allison Mack is 40. So Nikki Klein, the two of them were married, and they only were married so that Nikki Klein could stay in the country.
Green card.
But what I want to see about Allison Mack, Wikipedia, this a bitch. Okay. It literally says criminal charges, criminal penalty. It doesn't tell you anything about her. Okay, early life, career. Okay. She was born in West Germany. I'm just trying to see if she had any
kind of education.
Yeah,
because it's very it's obviously not Scientology, and we'll get to that in a second. But they don't put a huge focus on education.
Right. Yeah, it says that she went to the Young Actor Space in LA starting at age 7. That's where she studied.
Sure, it's like that homeschool stuff, right, for acting kids.
Yeah, and then she was in Smallville. That's her big thing, Smallville.
That's her big thing, Smallville.
That's her big thing. It's her big break.
Yeah. So anyway, the whole thing is crazy. All of that to say, if you haven't watched The Vow, I think you should. And wasn't there another one on Hulu?
Yeah, there was more than one.
There was more than
Just
one.
Just look up documentaries about Nexium. Nxivm.
Yeah, Nexium, not the heartburn medicine with the ads on TV. Anyway, let's talk about Scientology really quick.
Okay.
So,
where is
Shelly? Shelly.
I read that thing that you sent me last night, and I'd say I got 3/4 through it, and then I was like, now he's going into like explain what Scientology is. I was like, I already know.
I know. Well,
I read Going Clear. I already know.
So, right. Okay. So this guy, Yashar.
Yeah.
Many of you probably follow him on Twitter or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
He Yashir. Yashar. Okay. He has done like a 6-year investigation into this whole thing, which is really not that much when you think about it, because she's been missing since 2007.
Yeah. Is it Yashar Ali?
Yeah. Well, yes.
Is that him?
Mm-hmm. He's big on baby elephants. So if you see his
profile picture is a baby elephant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, he's a journalist. He's had some issues himself. Like there's been some interesting stories about him and whatever, but he has done some amazing journalism. Okay. He followed this case. So Leah Remini put together this like missing person. She went to the LAPD and
over 10 years ago now.
Yes. Filed a missing person.
It was right after Tom and Katie's wedding.
Right.
When she was like, why isn't Shelly at this wedding? There's no way she would miss it.
Right. And and especially, okay, so David Miscavige is the head of Scientology. He was Tom Cruise's best man at this wedding. Shelly is his wife. And I'm using is in hopeful terms, but
she's not with us anymore.
No, I'm sure not.
For sure.
So anyway, so Leah really was worried. Obviously, anybody would be about their best friend.
And this was when Leah was still in Scientology.
Yeah, she was asking questions, and they were like, "You don't have the level to be asking this." And
now you have to go to Clearwater for 2 months. And she had to go to Clearwater for 2 months and take courses and
empty your brain of this.
Empty your brain. It's just so stop asking questions. It's all in Leah Remini's book. It's fascinating.
Yeah. So anyway, so she submitted this missing persons report. Then this attorney for the missing woman was arranging this meeting where it was like this woman who didn't end up being Shelly, but said she was, came to the meeting place with the LAPD, et cetera, et cetera.
A coffee shop or
a
something.
coffee shop.
Yeah.
And they checked her ID, took her fingerprints in like a coffee shop, you know.
Right. Which, as you do.
As you do. But I think even the coffee shop was outside the LAPD's jurisdiction.
It's all sus and shady.
Okay. So then they went back to the LAPD, and the next day, 2 of their technicians, their lab technicians, determined that the fingerprints were not a match with Shelly.
And they said the person that gave the fingerprint, it appeared they were purposefully doing it, knowing that you wouldn't be able to. They're purposely skewing the test, so that we wouldn't be able to tell if it's a match or not,
like squinching or like smudging or
whatever, so that they wouldn't be able to tell if these fingerprints matched. Yeah.
Instead of contacting, so the lab, it was like, this isn't her. Instead of getting a hold of the attorney
Inconclusive.
to arrange for more prints to be taken, right?
Yeah.
The LAPD removed her from the missing persons database and closed the investigation and issued a press statement saying that the missing persons report filed by Leah Remini was unfounded.
Yeah. And they have said publicly, like, we saw her, we spoke to her, she's not a missing person, so we closed it. And then Leah's like, prove it. Prove that you spoke to her. Do you have a photo? Like anything, you know?
And detectives contacted the coffee shop to get the security footage of this meeting. And when the coffee shop sent the footage over like a week later, the videos were all scrambled of that time and that moment.
Just that time when they were there.
Yeah.
That was all scrambled. Yeah. It's because
it's unusable.
Somebody was sitting in a car sending a scramble signal to that video camera.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, okay. So long story short, there is clear evidence that the LAPD has been working in cahoots with Scientology for years and years.
You just look at that Danny Masterson stuff. Like, he'd had so many allegations, and finally he did get convicted of 2 counts of rape. And thank God.
Yeah.
Because they said many years, and they're not, if something happens in Scientology and you have been sexually assaulted or something has happened to you, you are to report it to Scientology and they take care of it, which means nothing happens to that person. They have to go to 3 extra classes and then you get to pass them in the hallway every day. Like, it's horrible.
Right. Well, you know what it brought to mind for me was we talked a little bit about this last night when we were eating dinner, but the Duggar documentary,
right?
Where it was like, oh, well, we're just gonna,
we take care of
the oldest boy, whatever the hell.
Josh.
Yeah, we're going to send him to this like church rehab camp.
Yeah,
where
we take care of it in-house.
Yeah, we're going to take care of it in-house. And oh, by the way, he's still your brother and he's still going to live in the house and you can just deal with it or not.
Sorry
or whatever.
If you wake up and you're being molested, but he went to that camp where he built 2 homes, and so now he's cured.
Well,
because people just get cured of being a pedophile. That happens all the time.
And I mean, and I don't want to get too, dark here, but like the same thing happened with Catholic priests.
Yes.
For years and years, and all kinds of other people in power in religion.
Yeah.
We're just going to handle it in-house. We're going to move them to a different place. We're going to do this, do that. And guess what? Everything just continues. And it's ridiculous. It continues in
a different spot. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just ridiculous. And more people, often children, keep getting hurt. And it's maddening. So anyway, you guys, this is a very long story, but it's a great read. I would
Ali on Instagram. You can find it there
on Instagram. Yeah. And he's got some great deep dive reporting. And the number 2 guy at Scientology, I don't remember his name. There's a whole litany of things that are happening with him because he was having sex with minor girls and got one of them pregnant and wanted her to have an abortion because she was in Sea Org.
They love a Sea Org abortion. Yeah.
Forced one.
Yeah, we found all of that out on the Leah Remini documentary. Yeah.
So anyway, so he's hopefully the LAPD is going to follow up with that, but this feels like it should turn into like an FBI case.
It'd be great
because
if it did.
The FBI, hopefully doesn't have ties to Scientology like the LAPD does.
Yeah, I think that Leah and Mike Render, who were sending good vibes to him because he's found out he has cancer, but Leah Remini, I think that they've always said their number one goal is to get their religious exemption, tax exemption taken away, because they are exempt from taxes because they're a religious organization.
They're basically a church.
And that is what 100% Leah's like, that's our goal. Because if we can get that taken away, then they won't have this power. They won't have the money, because they'll have to pay taxes.
They'll have
all these buildings and things.
Well, they'll have to pay taxes and they'll have to pay taxes, but they'll also have to file I don't know, more in-depth paperwork, right? Like corporations and stuff like that. Don't they have to,
Listen, I'm not the person you should ask.
Well, no. Anyway, so long story longer, go find this story. There's documents that are attached to it. It's really, really interesting. And it's kind of sickening because I think this woman is dead too.
For sure.
And where did they put her? This is terrible.
Oh my God. She is out there at Gold Base, buried somewhere under the spaceship that's going to bring L. Ron Hubbard back. I mean, it's so all.
But if they murdered her, why would they put her someplace special like that?
But, well, maybe it was an accidental death. I mean, maybe.
Oh God.
But maybe she just died of natural causes. I mean, but then they don't want to report it because they handle everything in house. So who the fuck knows?
Well, and right, and things like therapy.
He could have just locked her in a room.
Pharmacology, like to deal with depression or anxiety or any of those types of things.
It's frowned upon.
They don't do that in Scientology, and so she could have killed herself.
You're glib, Matt. You're so glib.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I never forget.
I know.
Matt Lauer trying to talk to Tom Cruise. You're glib, Matt.
Yeah. And Brooke oh God, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, who's going to be the next Tom Cruise girlfriend?
Oh, I did see something about that. Oh shoot, I just got a major itch on my ankle. I'm sorry. I hope it's not an ant.
Oh my God.
I just all of a sudden ow. God, I just saw something about
who it is,
who they were saying they were trying to recruit to be his new girlfriend.
He's not young. I mean, he looks great. Let's be honest.
Does he?
He's
a little puffy.
He is a little puffy, and I wish he would cut his hair short. I mean, a short hair. I know you like a dirty, shaggy.
I don't like anything about Tom Cruise. He's got a crooked nose and his teeth are off center. Okay, there, I said it.
Be careful, Scientology is waiting outside our
alleged.
door.
This is all alleged. We don't know anything about anything.
Allegedly, his teeth are crooked.
Let's see. No, that's not alleged. But all the Scientology stuff was just alleged.
Anyway,
I want to look and see Tom Cruise because I did just see somebody predicting who it was going to be, and it's literally somebody like Amanda Bynes.
Oh God, poor thing. I think she's back in the hospital.
Bless her.
And she was so darn cute in Hairspray. Anyway, current references only.
Let's see. Tom, this is just giving us.
But think about it. We're just talking about NXIVM and how they kind of basically kept people hostage and brainwashed people. And now we're talking about Scientology. And I know that those are not sort of mainstream religions, but really, what is a mainstream religion at this point? I'm not sure. We're all a melting pot, but
come on, that's not a good picture.
How old is he? He's not bad though. I mean, come on.
Let's see,
Tom Cruise could dial it back
a bit. This says, according to Radar Online, Tom Cruise's friends have asked him to maybe be less intense on his approach to women. But he's intense naturally. And
hang in there, Tom. The right girl is out there.
Hang in there, Tom. It was Shakira.
Shakira. That's right.
Shakira.
Oh, because they were at the Formula One race down in Miami.
It was Shakira. Yeah. No, Shakira, girl, stay strong.
I feel
don't lie. Don't go with him.
I feel like Shakira could be going through some stuff right now.
Obviously,
and she might be drawn to him. I hope she's not.
He just needs to find a nice Scientology girl who wants to follow all the rules and turn purple and do the cupping and have a quiet birth and do all the things. He needs to find a girl that wants to do all those things.
A girl. He needs to find a middle-aged
woman,
middle-aged woman,
a woman,
which he won't.
Do we think that Suri is actually his kid?
I mean, She looks very similar to him. I mean, she's a mix of both, really. P.S. I love Katie Holmes, and
he's
I've loved
61.
her. Okay.
He's 61. So
Loved her since
65.
Dawson's Creek.
Never
Loved her.
Never watched one episode, but I do think of it when I go through Wilmington to Bald Head Island.
I
That's where they found
love
it.
Dawson's. See, current reference only.
There you go.
Okay, so that's enough of that. Let's see. I have some really exciting stuff on this list, Mary Payne.
Okay. I'd like to wrap it up. So
well,
give me one. Give me your best one. Give me your best thing.
Natalia Grace.
Listen. We've been so depressed. Let's give me something lighter.
Cocaine found at the White House. Listen, I would just like to say
that's a visitor that went through the metal detector and just emptied their pockets. Like, whoop! Let me just throw my Coke and my phone and this pen and this new T-shirt I just bought on the street.
Yeah, exactly. My FBI T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Federal boob inspector.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, they found this dime bag of Coke in the White House, and they thought it was like anthrax or ricin or whatever.
Yes.
They had
anthrax was the word that we were trying to remember yesterday. We're like, it's ricin. We're like, what's that other thing?
And they had to evacuate. It was on last Friday, and they had to evacuate the White House. And it turns out it's Coke.
Yeah.
And
hey guys, when you're touring a federal building, don't bring your Coke with you.
Especially the White House.
Yeah. Well, in any
federal building.
Not
really.
great. Not great.
Anyway, I just kind of chuckled at that, but whatever. Oh, Ryan Seacrest got the Wheel of Fortune job. That news is only about 10 days old, so that's new.
Super new. I'm happy for him, and you and I talked about this last night, and I think that he's going to make this like his only job other than like New Year's Rockin' Eve.
But what about, isn't he hit on the radio like 5 hours a day?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think he is.
I don't think so. Who listens to the radio? Really?
I don't know.
Not me.
Don't they simulcast it on Sirius?
Oh, that's a good question. I have no clue. Anyway, my understanding was that he's like, he's my age-ish. He's in his mid-50s.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like slow it down by only having like one job.
Dial it back a touch. I like it.
And you're familiar with the game world, and it's a very cushy schedule. Heather McDonald was saying
it's a real cushy schedule, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into big-time details, but I do know.
We could do that on Patreon sometime.
Oh God,
on Prime, I could.
Yeah, we could. Oh, you guys,
I could get your.
That's a
great topic.
That's a great topic,
and how she knows about the
game show world,
the game show world,
the gaming world,
the gaming world. Ingrid's a gamer.
That's right. No, but my information tells me that a show like Wheel of Fortune or like Price is Right or Jeopardy, one of those, is most of the time they'll film like a bunch of shows in a day. They'll do Monday to Thursday or something like that, 4 days for like 6 weeks. And that takes care of like 4 months of shows. Yeah. 4 or 5 months. So then you're just farting around with your millions of dollars.
Judge Lauren Lake goes on Jeff Lewis's show, and she has a show called Paternity Court. It's one of those.
Oh, yeah.
And she's great. And she, that's what she says. She goes to Atlanta, and she stays in Atlanta for like a month and does all the shows for the year. And then that's it. Then she has the rest of the time off.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great gig, which is why I really don't know if Ryan will just do that job. What's he going to do? I don't think the guy knows how to like relax. And I hope that he does, but like just not doing the LA, California or LA, New York thing has to be a huge relief.
Does Vanna White have a daughter or a protege or some sort?
No.
Ever since they went digital, all she does is stand there and like
taps,
point and taps.
Like an iPad. They don't really need her, but that people would go nuts. But she's negotiating her contract.
Yeah.
She wants some cash.
She makes $12 million a year or something, has never gotten a raise ever.
She started like 40 years ago. Well, not 40, but she started that long ago, $12 million a year.
It could be $4 million a year, but whatever it is, she's never had a raise.
Well, God bless.
She doesn't do anything.
Well, people love her though. She comes out and spins.
What do you mean?
She spins around so you can see her dress.
Oh, okay. Well, great.
And I don't know. I just know my grandma watched that show, and she was way better at it.
I'm so good at Wheel of Fortune.
I hate Wheel of Fortune.
I'm really good at it.
It seems such a weird...
But I think that if I was there and actually played it, I would freeze.
Well, that's what I worry about on Jeopardy. You guys, I've entered the Jeopardy thing a few times, to be a contestant.
Okay.
And I do pretty well on the test, but there's a billion people trying out and blah, blah, blah. So I've never really gotten past a certain point, but maybe someday when they see my sparkling personality. But I think if I
what
got
happened
on
to
there,
the game show we were supposed to be on?
I don't know. What was that?
Pictionary. We submitted it was such an extensive thing we had to fill out, each of us, and then we had to submit like a video of ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's why I'd be great on the show with my friend Ingrid.
And oh, you know what? I know exactly when that was too. It was like the second or third week of February we did that.
Yeah, and we were supposed to. Would you be available to go to LA in July, which is now?
Yeah, and the answer is yes.
Yes, we're available.
Anyway, who hosts that show? It's one of
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell. That's right. Yeah, Pictionary.
Let me check.
Baby fish mouth. Baby fish mouth.
Baby fish mouth is sweeping the nation.
Yeah. Oh my God, another current reference.
Let me just check and make sure I didn't get anything while we were here.
In your spam. Oh my God. In your spam.
What if while we were sitting here, I got a note?
Listen, we've had some real good, some good mojo.
Yeah.
How about your spam? What about your spam?
It wouldn't be in spam because they, you know what I mean? Because they emailed me first, so I would already have.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
well, anyway.
Gosh, you guys.
But I would love to be on Jeopardy. I think I would probably freeze. I do have a acquaintance who has been on, and
Jeopardy.
She made a big error in Final Jeopardy, and it was an embarrassing one. And so,
do they still do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or whatever?
I think it's on the Game Show Network,
because I was pretty good at that too.
Yeah,
another Regis show. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Man, I love that guy.
Were you with Regis? Were you with me at the polo bar? We saw Regis.
We saw Regis, and I
screamed,
and I literally said, "Oh my gosh, that's Regis!" And he turned and looked at me and smiled.
And I was like, "Regis!" like because I have no chill. No chill.
No, except when we saw Woody Allen and Soon Yi, we did not even. We snubbed.
We snubbed
hard. And he had his fisherman's hat on inside this lovely restaurant.
He had that stupid hat on. You can't miss him because he's had the same outfit for 100 years. But we did not look his way. No, we didn't. We could do a whole podcast on all the famous people we've seen at the polo bar.
Yeah, we could. That would be funny.
That would be funny.
Okay. What else? That's about it.
I think that's it.
Hey, listen. I just want to do a few
plugs.
Announcements and things.
Okay,
okay, class, are you listening?
Yeah, people are going to turn it off.
I know. Listen, we're going to do an AMA episode, an Ask Me Anything with Mary Payne. For our Supercast people, sorry, but it's just for Supercast because that's where our AMA page lives. So
AMA is a part of Supercast. It is not a part of Patreon. So it is not a Patreon snub. It is just a thing that appears on Supercast. There you go.
Right. So if you are a member of Supercast, log into Supercast and look at your dashboard, and then you can enter a question. You can ask a question, and you can see other people's questions, and Mary Payne will answer them. And that's going to come soon, maybe.
Yeah, the next couple of days.
But
what about, also if you follow other podcasts over on Supercast, like Reality Gaze or whatever, everybody has it.
Everybody has it.
Ask Me Anything. If you are on Supercast, you can do it. Ask Me Anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're on Supercast, you are entered. If you join us and subscribe during July or August, you're entered into a giveaway for $25 at the Pink Shade store.
That's correct.
A video greeting from Mary Payne, the one and only.
Oh my God, yes, the one and only.
I know.
Video greeting. If you're lucky, I'll do it on my way out the door like I did last time.
Oh, but you looked great.
I really didn't. The lighting was terrible. But Anna, came in and was like putting your shoes on, so I got a little glimpse of Anna, got a little glimpse of a dog.
I slapped a filter on there. You look great.
Oh, thank you, thank you. That's why. That's why you get this amazing vacation. Because you helped me look great.
So that's all really fun. And then coming up, we've got Brandy and Julie coming back. We've got...
I've just booked Larison Campbell.
That'll be a good one.
Larison has that podcast, Devil in the Ditch, which is so great. She's going to come on and do a Patreon / Supercast episode with me on Prime regarding the documentary Burden of Proof. Because it's interesting because she has a family murder where they think they know who did it. But it's not proven, and that's what that documentary is. It's about a guy who's trying to prove that his dad killed his sister. So I just thought it would be great we could chat because it's such a similar story.
Yeah.
And it's so many years of generational trauma, and getting the people in the family to talk about it, or the people in the family that won't talk about it. And it's a lot of similarities there. So she agreed to watch it and come on and discuss with me. That'll be the end of next week.
That'll be great. Who else is coming on the main feed?
Well, we still are doing Kimberly and Keisha, and listen, you guys. I know you love Keisha. Well, guess what? You're going to be getting double the Keisha, because we've got to cover Match Me Abroad. We got 3 more episodes, and Love After Lockup is coming back. So it's going to be double the Keishas on Monday. Double the Keishas on Monday, and then we'll have Kimberly on Tuesdays for 90 Day. Before the 90 days.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember. There's so many. Then over on Prime, I'm covering 90 Day. We're done with Love in Paradise, and now we're going to be doing
Temptation Island.
Oh, and another 90 Day is being added in. Then they just announced today, guys, another 90 Day therapy edition, but we're not covering that because that's Big Ed and Angela and people that we hate.
Oh, we don't know.
So just watch it, and maybe Reality Gaze will cover it, and I doubt Kim and Kyle will cover it, but some reality podcaster will cover it. But I can't deal with Angela and Big Ed, so no.
Okay.
They're taking a stand.
Yeah, so there we go. And you guys, we're going to start to pull things out of the store. So at the end of July, the flip-flops are going away. Some of our summer stuff is going away.
Yeah.
I just have a problem making things for the store. I really have a good time. But that means that we have like 100 things in the store, and nobody buys them. So we're gonna cull the store.
We're gonna look at slides. And Allie Arnold, our friend at Allie Arnold Illustration on Instagram, reached out about some new ideas for merch. And I'm thinking about another rock band T-shirt with Hot Car Chardonnay, with opening band Baby Sister in the back, or just another shirt with Baby Sister in the back. That's kind of caught on. So. These are just things we're throwing around. This is what we're doing this work retreat, y'all.
We're really working. We're working.
We're actually working.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to go to dinner soon and have some more Cosmos.
Are we?
Yeah. We don't have to drive like we did last night.
True. Okay, you guys.
Okay. That's it. Oh, hey, follow us on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. Ingrid's giving me the face. Follow us on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. You guys, find your dog, find your mom, find your work account. Follow us, please. We need all the followers we can get. Trying to get to that 10,000 level, which is a level that gets you better SpawnCon and whatnot. We have some great new sponsors, ads and things coming up soon, so keep an eye out for that. Really good ones. And that's something we need to do after this too. We need to go on that site. And I'll talk to you on Monday with Match Me Abroad and Life After Lockup with Keisha. Okay. And one last thing for you.
Had your kids, had your wife.
That's it. Bye.